If you're a fan of the Nordic series Vikings Valhalla, Netflix has just dropped the second season. But will there be scheming, pillaging, and brutality? After the tragic fall of Kattegat, Leif, Freydis, and Harald find themselves suddenly fugitives in Scandinavia and are forced to test their ambitions and courage in worlds beyond the fjords of Kattegat. So this picks up a little after that epic battle at Kattegat, where we watch Leif go ham on just about everybody, channeling his father's red streak. Now, for the second season, the story branches off into three focuses: one on Leif, one on Freydis, and then the remaining arc focuses on London and Queen Emma. Now, I want to talk about that last one first. The story portions that take us to London, they showcase some decent scheming and supposed treachery, but this arc, it doesn't get an equal focus, nor is it really as engaging as the other two arms of the season. There are some excellent moments that involve Earl Godwin and Queen Emma and all that goes on in the court, especially as King Canute is away. And I certainly did enjoy some of the story's intrigue, as there are a few portions that take a look at character motives, and then there's doubt that's infused. And I thought some of it was actually pretty well guarded, because I wasn't able to figure it out until just a little bit before the reveal. The section of the story, though, just seems very disjointed from the rest of the series. It's happening in its own sphere, and nothing really outside of the walls of London really intersect, at least where Leif, Harald, or Freydis are concerned. So this wasn't really a bad part of the story, but it just wasn't as engaging as it could have been. And that could be also because this was setting up a lot more of the coming story, so they were just focused on building the background for what's to come. Leif's portion of the story arc is adventurous, and we're taken to new lands that are each filled with their own unique dangers. Now, there is some really good character growth that's displayed for Leif. He's mourning the loss of Liv from season 1 and having to deal with all of that. Now, I think the story does kind of rush Leif through that emotional journey, but we do get a resolution to what he's experiencing. We also get to meet new cast members on this journey, which I think then helps to create a lot of character complications, not only for Leif, but Harald as well. And I think some of it does become predictable, but it's also where the story feels like it's naturally heading. So that predictability, it's not really an issue. And there are some exciting and then horrifying action sequences that we get to witness with Leif's part of the narrative. And there were at least 2 separate times that made me wince, squirm, and gasp at the TV. I mean, I was freaked out, but for completely different reasons. We also get to see some really cool fight sequences, and the choreography, I think it's done well. Some of the battles are without weapons, but just them using their fists and their feet. And then other times, swords, spears, arrows, they're all utilized. And that action is captured in an engaging way that creates some excitement and tension for those scenes. Now, I'm really digging this part of the story because all that Leif is experiencing is building what feels to be a massive emotional arc. In these 2 seasons, he's had love, loss, fear, and growth, and all are preparing him for something big. Now, with Freydis' part of the story, we get to witness some excellent fighting, as well as some wonderful story treachery. Because both Uppsala and Kattegat were destroyed, Freydis is dealing with a lot of guilt and regret. I mean, she was the protector, and she sees herself as an absolute failure. Now, her arc then focuses on not only just her emotional journey through that grief and guilt, but also she encounters a group of people that could lead to her redemption. Now, some of the fight sequences in this, they were outstanding. And then one in particular, it was devious and brutal. I mean, it's exactly what I was looking for. Now, while there is a lot of violence in the show, especially because the Vikings use swords and axes, there are a few times when that violence, it ratchets up and it is exciting. Now, I know there are a lot of criticisms for season 1, especially as it relates to historical accuracy. For this season, I have zero clue how accurate or inaccurate it is. Luckily, though, I was watching this as the entertainment fictionalized drama that it is, rather than treating it as a documentary. I mean, if they want to introduce mysticism as part of the religious belief, cool. Or if they want to utilize weaponry that may not have been used back then, I'm all good with that too. Now, I'm not saying any of the series is actually doing that, but if it did, I wouldn't count it as a negative. This is a show where I hope to see political machinations as people jockey for power and control. I also hope to see some awesome fight sequences that end with lost limbs and tons of blood. And then I want characters who are charismatic, engaging, and even frustrating. This show delivers all of that. Now, I don't think this is a perfect show or even a season, but it was entertaining. The 8 episodes are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, and they flew by. Binging was easy, and despite those London scenes not being as interesting as the rest of the story arcs, the show as a whole is fun and it's worth checking out. So overall, Vikings Valhalla Season 2 draws strength from focusing on the kids of Eric the Red, and taking audiences through very emotional growth journeys of both Leif and Freydis. The show falters a bit when focusing on the London portion of the story, but not enough to detract from the overall entertainment of the series. Action set pieces are executed well, with choreography that showcases exciting combat, and when these are combined with the treacherous scheming of characters, their dramatic arc becomes captivating. If you're a fan of Season 1, Season 2 should satisfy. There's sex, nudity, some profanity, and a ton of violence. I give Season 2 of Vikings Valhalla 3.5 out of 5 couches. So are you a fan of the show? Who's your favorite character? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.